But of course, none of this matters if the thing doesn't work, and in my opinion, reliability is the #1 most important thing when it comes to firearms. Hey everyone, I'm Brett, and welcome to Nightwood Guns. It was a long time to wait, but it's finally here. The Stealth Arms Platypus with the new features, that would be the Prickle grip texture and the Bul barrel. This double stack 1911 with a full metal frame takes Glock magazines, and I can say with confidence is one of the best guns I've ever owned. And in my opinion, Stealth Arms is the future of the firearm industry, or at the very least, it's the future that I want to see. In a world of mass-produced guns with abysmal quality control, Stealth Arms offers a custom experience that is more accessible than other out-of-reach options. But my fear is that the Stealth Arms Platypus is going to be remembered as the gun with the goofy name and the silly colors. But after 1,000 rounds through the Stealth Arms Platypus, I can tell you it is so much more than that. This gun should be taken very seriously. But before we hop into things, I do run an honest channel here. This gun was sent to me by Stealth Arms, but I make it abundantly clear to any company that wants to send me a firearm that I'm completely honest here. If anything goes wrong on camera, I show it, and if anything goes wrong off camera, I tell about it. I'm a consumer that has been burned in the past, and I own a lot of guns I do not need anymore. My integrity is not for sale. I'm going to tell the truth, even if it hurts feelings or burns bridges. So with that being said, I've already made it clear that I'm impressed with this firearm. I'm going to explain why in this video, and also no gun is perfect. I definitely have some feedback and maybe some cons, so stay tuned for that because we're gonna dive into everything. If you've enjoyed videos of mine in the past, or if you're enjoying this video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. That is a great free way to show your appreciation and to help support the channel. And of course, don't forget to hit that like, thumbs up button. I know it's easy to forget to do that. Other than that, the links in the description below are the place to be if you'd like to further support the channel. I'm so grateful for my patrons. You help keep the lights on here at Nightwood Guns. And for the first time in the link down below, I have Nightwood Guns merch. So this is just one of the examples. I have several shirts of this similar theme up there. Got Nightwood Guns on the sleeve, American flag on the other. So hopping right into the meat and potatoes of the video, the Stealth Arms Platypus is a 1911 that takes Glock magazines, hence the name Platypus, because it's kind of a mix of animals. And unlike other competitors on the market, this has a full aluminum frame instead of a polymer grip module on a metal frame. Now this is of course an awesome idea because Glock mags are way cheaper than 2011 mags. And on top of that, many of us just have a bunch of Glock mags laying around. I mean, just in my drawer here at my desk, this is what I have for Glock mags. I did have to not bring up 2 of them though, because they may have been a little long for YouTube. YouTube likes them short and wimpy. And of course, another great thing about it taking Glock magazines is in an end of the world situation, you can just start, stripping Glock mags off of everybody and you can keep feeding your 1911. But jokes aside, this is an ingenious idea and it was executed flawlessly. So if this is such a great idea, why didn't I buy it a year ago when it first came out? Well, after handling one, the grip texture was a little too slippery for me, so I was waiting for their new Prickle grip texture. We'll go over that. And the one that I shot was a little snappy with its bushing barrel that didn't weigh as much as a Bul barrel, but this new Bul barrel, oh, it's nice. Having that extra weight out there in that barrel really smooths the recoil impulse out on this thing. Makes it shoot like a ported or comped gun, almost. This is about as well as a gun can shoot without ports or comps. And also a year ago, I was waiting for an RMR optic cut to drop and the ambi safety, so with all of these new options and features available, now is the best time to get one of these. But what all these introductions show is that Stealth Arms listens to customer feedback, and they are very resourceful. Their optic cut is pretty unique, as is their backup iron sight system. And on top of that, texturing a metal frame can be a challenge, so the fact that they figured it out so quickly and executed it so well says a lot. Stealth Arms knows what they're doing, and they certainly know how to build a 1911. This thing is well designed all around, and man, that crowned Bul barrel looks so sharp. Now, watching my range footage, you may have noticed that I wrapped this grip in goon tape originally, and that's because I thought it was going to be a little too sharp, especially running it at appendix against my skin. But as you can see, I have since taken it off. This grip texture, if you're sensitive to sharp textures, probably not going to be a good fit for you, but it is perfect for me. I do like aggressive grip textures, and if you do, you're gonna love this. Now, one of the best things about a metal frame like this is that the grip texture is not going to get whittled down to nothing over time. When you have a polymer grip frame after years of heavy use, this texture can actually start to wear down and lose its grippiness. Now, they last a long time, but it's just the nature of having a plastic gun. However, this texture on the metal grip is not going to get worn down unless you crash on your motorcycle and it grinds against the asphalt. So this is a lifelong investment when it comes to this grip texture on this pistol. While we're on the topic of the grip, I did bust out my tape measure that came with my dartboard to check out the grip circumference, because when I started handing this off to a few of my friends, they thought that the grip felt slimmer than other competitors on the market. So sure enough, compared to the Staccato and the Bul Armory, the grip circumference on this is smaller. So if you were a smaller handed person and you want to experience a full-size double stack 1911 that takes Glock magazines, this is not a bad choice. It's not to say it's a slim grip, but it is slimmer than the competition. Other than those new features, when it comes to the Stealth Arms Platypus, the world is yours. They have a custom 3D model builder where you can completely customize and design the Stealth Arms Platypus and make it yours. I am talking rail. As you can see, I got the full length rail, bushing barrel, or bull barrel. Definitely recommend the bull barrel. Barrel length, the style of trigger shoe, either flat or curved, and then the length, either short or long. And that's really important because having a good trigger reach for your hand and finger size can make shooting a pistol much easier. It's one less thing to think about when your finger just naturally goes right on the trigger where you want it to. You can also customize the trigger weight. I went with the competition trigger weight on this thing, and you can even pick the shape of the trigger guard. They also have different slide designs. I picked the one with the little window cuts, and of course, you can color this thing however you want. And as you can see, they will fill in every tiny micro detail, from the slide serrations to even the serrations on the trigger, the serrations on the slide stop, the serrations on the safety. I mean, even the hammer. You can completely make this thing as wacky or as cool or as bland as you want. It's this level of customization that makes me so excited for the future of this industry. As far as the application of the Cerakote goes, this is the cleanest Cerakote job I have seen come out of an actual manufacturer. But of course, none of this matters if the thing doesn't work, and in my opinion, reliability is the #1 most important thing when it comes to firearms. So I have 1,000 rounds to this. I actually have 1150 through it, but it has had 0 malfunctions, and yes, that includes my defensive hollow points, my Federal HST 124 plus P. I thoroughly trust my life with this pistol, and I would recommend it to anybody who's even remotely interested in getting one. So it's nice that it's reliable, but how does it shoot? So as I mentioned earlier, with the bull barrel, it makes this the best shooting pistol you can get without ports or comps. This is perfectly balanced and perfectly sprung from the factory. So many guns are coming oversprung from the factory nowadays. This is perfect. This thing shoots very flat and can be run extremely fast. As far as accuracy goes, no matter what distance I shot this at, it was an absolute tack driver. This is one of those guns that you just cannot miss with. Whether it's for fun, competition, or serious use like self-defense, the Platypus excels. So this is 100% reliable. It shoots extraordinarily well. But that's not all, because the fit and finish on this thing is near perfect. It's as good as you can get without bumping up to the very high-end options like Atlas Gunworks, or even above that, Infinity, or some of those the really expensive options. This is every bit as good as a Staccato or even a Bul Armory. In fact, those are the 3 manufacturers I 100% recommend for these double stack 1911s in a more accessible, still expensive, but accessible price range. Bul Armory, Stealth Arms, and Staccato, it's kind of the trifecta of guns that I recommend. But something that really impresses me with the fit and finish on the Stealth Arms is that everything is melted and dehorned. There is not a sharp spot on this gun as far as the actual surface area that you grip. On a lot of these double stack 1911s, there's usually this piece that sticks out here on the frame that is known to occasionally stab some people depending on how you grip it. There can also be some sharp geometry on mag wells. Sometimes you get stabbed by a sharp corner on a beaver tail, but the Platypus is completely melted and dehorned and just fits like a glove. The only thing you could argue is kind of sharp on here would be the slide stop, but I actually like that because it helps my thumb bite into it so I can positively close the slide on a live round when I'm reloading. If you're running this without a red dot, the rear sight also can be a little sharp depending on where you're carrying it, but it's so low profile. I got the low sights for a very low co-witness with the Holosun 507 comp, which is the dot I am running on every one of my pistols now. But with the dot on there, that rear sight doesn't come anywhere near me. As far as the actual internal tuning of the gun goes, the trigger and the grip safety are tuned extremely well. Like I said earlier, Stealth Arms knows what they're doing. So while those are all of the things that I love about the Stealth Arms Platypus, let's hop into a few of the cons. So first of all, this is an all metal grip frame. It is aluminum. There are definitely pros to that. Normally I would criticize it for not being steel because I prefer a heavier gun, but with the way this thing is balanced with the Bul barrel, it shoots perfectly. I honestly wouldn't mess with it. That being said, when you have a gun with a metal grip like this, it can be susceptible to extreme temperatures, which means when it's really cold outside, this can get really cold. And if this is your carry gun and it's against your skin, that is just a real bad feeling. Basically just having an icicle up against your skin. Now for me, being in Arizona and running this thing in the middle of the summer, 106 degrees in the shade on this day, and putting a crap ton of rounds through it, this thing got really hot really fast. Now it never got too hot to touch, but it's one of those things where if you left it out in the sun and then you were to put it on against your skin, it'd burn you. Now hands down, the biggest con and downside to this pistol is the lead time. With great quality and great customization comes great patience. That being said, trust me, the wait is 100% worth it. And believe it or not, I've actually waited longer for stuff in the past. I still wake up in a cold sweat thinking about my 2 Beretta builds and how patient I had to be for these. Next up is that this has a 2-piece guide rod, so for disassembly you have to, screw the guide rod out. You can replace it with certain toolless guide rods, but honestly I just left it. I haven't had any problems with it, but just know that some people get really triggered when you add an extra step to disassembly. Next up, and right now this is probably the most important thing, is going to be holster compatibility. Now luckily I'm a tier 1 concealed simp and have the MSP FLX holster that fits to a Surefire X300. So I was just able to toss an X300 on this thing and put it inside my waistband and then run it all day. But I have a lot of 2011 holsters, and this Platypus did not fit into any of them. Now, I'm not sure if that's because I'm running the full Call of Duty Black Ops 2 rail, or if it's just the Platypus overall, but definitely something worth doing research on before picking one of these up. Now, there are people running these in competition, so I'm sure there are holsters out there, just you might have to look for them. Next up is going to be magazine base pad compatibility with the magwell on this thing. Now, a lot of my base pads did fit no issue, but I did have a very precious Terran Tactical base pad on one of my magazines that would not lock in with the magwell on. But that's actually a nice thing about the Stealth Arms is they send you another mainspring housing pin that is shorter, so if you want to take the magwell off, you can do that right out of the box. And next up, there is an edge in the front of the magwell that when I was first getting used to reloading this thing, I was catching the magazine in that front lip there and it was getting caught. Now granted, I only hit that edge a couple of times before I got used to it and then was able to easily avoid it subconsciously going on. But this gun is honestly so amazing, I'm having to nitpick some cons in this category. And I almost forgot to mention this. One other thing is that with the magwell on here and a flush fit Glock magazine, they have little cuts in the magwell so you can strip it, but there is no way you can get a good grip on that base pad. But that's honestly all I can really come up with. I think at this point, the only other thing that I'll mention in this category is there are a lot of features for this pistol, and I'm kind of greedy. I'd like to see even more options, starting with a ported option. Something like an island comp would definitely be cool, but obviously that can be a challenge to engineer and machine. But man, cut the slide and let's put some ports in there. I would also like to see additional finishes other than Cerakote. Obviously, Cerakote, you can put cool colors on there, but it's not the most durable finish in the world, so I'd like to see, like DLC or PVD options, or even titanium nitride or chrome. I realize there's a lot of setup for that, and there might be some outsourcing, and the price would probably go way up, but it would be cool to have those options considering competitors are running PVD and DLC. Other than that, a chopped beaver tail for appendix carry, maybe a shelved safety for competition, and if you want to get really cool, maybe even a Glock 19 sized one for carry, or if you really want to make people horny, Glock 26. So the Stealth Arms Platypus is one of the best guns I have ever owned. I have a lot of pride of ownership over this thing, having completely customized it and made it for me. I mean, heck, I even grabbed the custom serial number Nightwood with 2 zeros in the place of O's. This is a shockingly reliable, well-built pistol that is custom to me and is certainly going to be an heirloom piece. I wholeheartedly recommend this. This gets the Nightwood Guns stamp of approval. This pistol has impressed me so much, I will definitely be featuring it in even more upcoming content. You have not seen the last of the Stealth Arms Platypus on this channel. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, everyone. Don't forget to check out the new merch shop in the description down below. And also make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit that like, thumbs up button. Those are just a couple of free ways that you can show your appreciation and support the growth of this channel moving forward. And I would like to give kudos to Stealth Arms for being so confident in their product that they had the balls to send it my way. Well, other than that, it was great seeing you again, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm Brett, and this was Nightwood Guns. Nightwood out.